Hello and welcome to Somebody's Heroes. My name is Yuri and I will be your game master for Hellbound. Today I am accompanied by Lauren.
Hi, everybody. It's Lauren Tucker here, voice actor, tabletop performer, and I'm thrilled to be returning to season 2 of Somebody's Heroes as Scourge Hand Varrick Severin Moregrave.
Amazing. Now, Lauren, why don't you tell us where we find Varric today?
I think we see Minaros, the capital of Noraflar, in what I can only imagine is a very politically and somewhat financially affluent block of residential buildings. And for lack of a better term, it's a very highbrow townhouse with multiple stories, well furnished. Probably has something of a history to it, which may have attracted him to this place once he was able to maneuver into the position which he now holds. And as we were to move inside, I think it's nighttime. Beyond nighttime, I think it might even be the dead of night. And I think, like so often with the intermittent shock of pain, with now 51 years of things to mull over in his brain, Varrick cannot sleep. And I think where the rest of the house is dim, and anyone else who might occupy it when otherwise they have gone home, we see him certainly not in battle ready state, perhaps not even in uniform. I think maybe in just a simple tunic and trousers, sitting in an armchair in front of a hearth. And he's holding a simple violin of wood. And he tucks it beneath his chin, breathes in, and he tries to play a reel, which he heard one time 24 years ago, and he gets maybe 2 bars in, and he misses a note, goes sour. He can't quite remember how it moves into the B section, into the next melody, and he tries again and again and again, kind of lit by the orange flame of the hearth in front of him, and finally, hand shaking a little bit where it clasps the bow, he curses and takes a breath. Just waiting for something that probably will never come.
And as Varric sits there contemplating the past, he hears a knock on his front door. Who could it be at this hour?
The violin is set in the second unoccupied armchair facing the hearth, along with the bow. And I think he goes to the bureau in the corner where one belt holsters a blade and just snaps it around his hip and goes to the front door. And I think there's a peephole, and he looks out.
In the dark, it's a little hard to tell. There are lights around. This is nice enough area. But it takes you a moment till you make out the features of this person. A woman, long hair, not very tall, so it's a little hard through the peephole that is set relatively higher up. But as soon as you see her face, you know immediately who this is. A person that you encountered in person for the first time over 2 decades ago, and you didn't think you would see again. You see Morwen Senatore standing in front of your doorstep at this ungodly hour.
Fuck.
You hear the knock again, louder.
And there's a million things that go through his mind, and he stupidly reaches for the blade, and then for once in his life thinks better of it. And the hands are again shaking, but for a different reason, when he pulls open the door, but stands entirely in the entrance, not pulling back all the way, and playing a little bit dumb and rubbing at his eyes as if he has been asleep and as if he wasn't just checking the peephole. Good evening.
She stands there, takes a second to look you up and down, not hiding it in the least. Takes a breath. Hello. It has been a long time. At least for you.
I'd say it's been some time. Seems you were gracious enough to come alone this time.
I didn't see why I would need to bring anyone else. But, you are a hard man to pin down. I've been looking for you for a little while.
A little while. Over 2 decades, it would seem.
Like I said, difficult, but clearly not impossible. Here I am. Now, it is quite chilly out here. Don't know if you usually treat all of your guests this way.
Only the ones who show up with questionable intentions. But then again, I can respect that. Please, Lady Morwen, come in.
She
And he'll
walks
step back.
inside, not hiding the fact that she is looking around, and you assume analyzing her surroundings, a thing that you do every time you go into a new place. You recognize the behavior in her. She is a careful woman.
You'll not see any traps from me. Only set those for folks who go about things in a less direct manner.
I thought that we could help each other.
Funny, that is usually how these sorts of conversations start, but I didn't expect it from you.
You see, I have a very delicate and very specific thing I need. And so it needs a very specific person. And I think that you just happen to be perfect for the job.
Just happened to be, I'm sure. My employment, my agenda, is kept by the 6th Legion. I'm sure they would be willing to help you hire me through the proper channels.
I do not know if you would want this to go through said proper channels. I think this, well, you will find this job to be of a more personal manner to you. I am doing you a favor. I know you have involved yourself in a lot of things with a lot of people. Not something I would recommend. I try not to make deals myself unless I can help it, but, well, some just do, I suppose.
I like to make friends.
If you want to call them that, then sure. I know that you have promised something to a friend, then, of mine, Conrad.
Moloch's take on Red Shadowhorn, I knew you wouldn't forget.
You see...
Was you him? You and him? What? You were flying around with that fucking bloodsucker who took it upon himself to bitch me out in front of my colleagues. What are you doing with him?
Yes, Solarian can be reckless and
Solarian can go fuck himself, and you can tell him from me. Well, that I can relate.
I'm sure you'll meet him again, and you can tell him yourself. He is quite impulsive, and I do not condone or enjoy half of the things he does. He enjoys them too much for me to be comfortable. But I am not here to talk about him. I have taken Conrad into my employ. He is a brilliant mind.
No, please continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Of course it would all come wrapping back around to this sort of fucking thing. Why? No, really, Lady Morwen, why get yourself bogged down in whatever the hells it is he has going on? He had more than enough on his plate when I knew him. I can only imagine now what he's gotten himself into.
You cannot make deals with beings more powerful than you and not expect them to eventually wrap around. But to your point, I have taken him under my employ. I do believe he is extremely intelligent and an asset to what I do in Ardamir, though I do not believe I would need to explain myself to you.
Oh, I'm
But
simply curious.
he, as a term of his employment, has requested that I aid him in finding and bringing home a said woman that I'm sure you know exactly of who I am talking about.
Do you want a drink?
She looks around once more, looks at you, and after thinking it over, actually, yes, I would appreciate one.
He motions for you to sit in the armchair that he was previously sitting in. He will move the violin to sit in the one adjacent. Or it's both. I think it's just whiskey neat. That's his kind of vibe. And he'll bring you your glass and sort of trot over with his, set it down, light a pipe with 2 strikes.
You see, after she sits down, she just holds out her hand and the glass floats to it. She holds her second hand over the top, and the glass and the liquid within it glows for a split second. Then she raises it to her mouth and takes a sip, just watching you.
Neat trick.
You can never be too careful, but I am sure you know that.
Yes, this woman in question. I had a feeling. You know, she does incredibly shoddy work.
I can see that now. I know that you made a pact with him to tell him where she is so that he can bring her safely home. I know that you know where she is, and I will not ask why you haven't given him this information yet, because I honestly do not care. However, I am not here to ask for the information, or at least not just here for that. I am here to ask you to go along with him when he goes to retrieve her.
I think, from what I've seen of Conrad Shadowhorn and the rest of his king-slaying friends, they will be just fine without me risking my hide for them.
They're definitely... I don't even know how to put it. I'm sure that they could manage, but I don't want them to manage. I want them to come back in one piece. And
I'm
I know
hardly the man who gets people back in one piece. I
think
rather excel at...
you can be. I know who you've worked for all of these years. I know that you've traveled back and forth. None of them have been where you have. And I want you to be their guide. And of course, retrieve some other things for me. And there will be a reward for you. I can think of a couple of things, actually. That thing in your head, for one, you are right. Quite shoddy work. and only getting worse with time, isn't it? It must be hard. Painful, I'm assuming.
A touch.
I can replace it with something so much better. You are mortal. How old are you now, Varrick?
50.
That is just about half of your lifespan. If you're lucky, isn't it? You've been lucky so far to have made it this long. I can extend that for you as well.
I don't know if that's the kind of thing I'd be.
Then
That's
tell
extension of.
me, what would be the kind of thing you would do something like this for? With your current and hopefully previous employer, I know you have done all manner of things, some of them much more foolhardy and reckless than what I'm asking you to do. Just go to a place you've already been and babysit. People who are, as you put it, capable themselves shouldn't be too hard. I will not send you as you are, of course. I want you to come back. I want this to succeed. So you tell me, what do you want?
Do you know, Lady Morwen, what the benefit is to being a military man?
I cannot say that I do.
Well, the benefit is that I don't know what the fuck I want. When I'm here, I have my rank, I have my men, I have my orders. And when I'm rewarded, I'm told what the reward will be, and usually it's pretty good. And when you don't tell people what you want, and you simply accept what they are foolish enough to give you, you show them no cards. And in the end, that's all I want. I want my cards to my chest, and all my men beneath me. So why would I tell you what it is I want ahead of the very dangerous job that I'm doing for you? And give you the same peek inside my head that I'd be trying to get rid of in the first place?
Then, how about I get rid of that for you? If you are so opposed to people knowing your true intentions and your thoughts, it must be so hard for you to have somebody constantly be aware of them. Let me rid you of that. Let me give you your thoughts and wants back to yourself. Let me give you that silence. I will even give that to you right now as a show of goodwill. We wouldn't have. We wouldn't want someone else being privy to everything I'm doing. I value my privacy as well. So I'll do that for you. Get rid of it now. That will only benefit both of us. I'll still give you that replacement, but that will be for after you come back. Let you linger in it a little more and have the pain remind you of what you have waiting for you back at the surface. As an incentive, I think.
It would still... If you severed it, would it still restore my hearing, as it does now? In whatever capacity it does, I know.
It will work as intended, but your thoughts, feelings will no longer be projected. There will be no link, nowhere for them to go except inside your own head. The machine itself will keep functioning as it is until it is replaced upon your return.
And for the fact that I will still bear that pain and that severing it now also benefits you, I will accept a replacement upon my return, and in the spirit of my existing bargain, I'd also like a favor of my choosing upon my return.
That is quite the ask. It is one thing to request a favor from someone like Conrad, so young and inexperienced in the world. Someone who is working for someone like me. And that is completely different to ask a favor of someone like me. But I will grant it. I do not believe you can ask for anything that I cannot give you. And it does not cost me much to do so. So, I have no reason to turn you down.
Understood. Just, one more thing. I'm the guide. Conrad is obviously the captain. Who else did you have in mind for your little field trip, Lady Morn?
The only other person that you should be concerned about in any capacity will be my ambassador, which I believe you have already met. His name is Maethorian, and he was there when you forged this pact with Conrad.
Fucking hells.
He is usually my shadow. It is quite hard for me to let him go on this, but...
Is he still sort of the way that he was, you know?
If you are inquiring if his personality has changed, no.
Okay, that'll be a tough crowd.
He is stronger, and he is going to be there representing my will He is there to ensure that people do not get ideas while I'm not around. He does have orders to restrain and stop anyone who does. But I know you are smarter than that.
Exactly. I may be a fool for many things, Lady Morwen, and he downs the rest of the drink and stands up, pipe still in hand, kind of gesturing. But believe it or not, I would never knowingly undercut your will. Especially if I was foolish enough to believe that I could get away with it. No, I've matured a little. And I think I understand exactly what it is you're getting at, and really might as well get it over with at this point, I suppose.
She smiles at you. I think she finds you a little amusing. Definitely very different from most of the people that she has to deal with. She stands up as well. The cup floats back to the little table to rest. Well, I can assure you that this will not be painful.
Just sets everything, sets the pipe down. I think not even bothering to, just letting it burn out kind of feels advised. And he says, would it offend you terribly if I let him know what we were up to?
As foolish as I think that decision is, you are free to make a fool of yourself as you wish. It does not affect me at all. She walks up to you, holds a hand out. What side?
My left.
Her hand hovers about an inch. You can feel the tips of your hair brush against her hand. You just tell me when, and then just stand very still. And she will wait.
He will nod.
For your signal.
He will nod to his understanding and then take a breath. And that same vicious smile as when he was a young man, just wickedly intact, pulls across his face. Clay, you old bastard, are you awake?
At first, you don't hear anything, but you do get the feeling that someone's listening and waiting for more.
Oh, come on. I've known you for long enough. If I'm comsing you at this hour, it must be quite important.
Yeah, well, I'm in the middle of meeting with the boss.
A meeting with the boss? Now?
Yeah. He's got a new mission for us.
A new mission for us? Care to relay anything?
Yeah, we're headed to Equishay.
Equishay?
Yeah, going
I can't-
south.
I can't remember the last time I was in
Little
Equishay.
destabilization.
Ah, well, we are good at the destabilization, aren't we? 'Cause you were always quite good at the destabilization. You've been destabilizing my sorry ass for going on almost 30 years now.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know something?
What?
Even when I loved you, Clay, I always knew you were just another idiot for me to surpass. And even if I do see you again, even if I decide to grace the 6th Legion with my presence when my business is finished, I think you'll still be running shitty little destabilizations in Equishay for the boss, and never doing anything more. And I'll be over here, being everything you always hoped I wouldn't be.
Well, if that happens, may the boss strike me down.
Yeah, may the boss strike you down. Well, I'll say this, Clay. Catch me if you fucking can, you old bastard. And that's the signal.
And you feel a pulse. Not painful, like she said, but you feel it. It's energy, and it goes into the inner workings of this thing in your head, and you feel it spread out of the equipment and into your actual head, as if cleansing it. And even when you weren't talking to each other, you could feel the connection always there, just waiting for you to tug on it with your mind. And for the first time in 30 years, it's not there anymore. In not a panic, but a reaction, you look for it, to touch it at least, and you find nothing. There is silence. And you know that you are alone with your thoughts.
He raises a hand to his left ear and snaps a few
Your
times to
hearing
check.
is the same.
God's help me, Lady Moore, when you make good on a promise.
As opposed to what many people think of me, I do not lie.
Well, I do. But I haven't to you yet, and I'll try not to your man. If I do, it's just habit, you understand?
I wouldn't hold it against you. It is who you are that I need. And just because I am not in the business of lying doesn't mean I don't appreciate what can be achieved through it.
Well, I'll be needing to leave this place for friendlier hideouts. Where is it that we're all supposed to be meeting up for this?
You will be coming to Ardemir. I am not sure exactly how long this expedition will be. That will be up to you and them to map and figure out. But it will be much swifter with you along. Here. And out of her cloak, she pulls out a small gem about the size of a dollar coin. It is purple, with swirls with magic inside. Dark shadows when you put it up to the light. When the time comes, you will simply crush this in your hand and you will be transported to my estate in Ardamir. You still have a little time. There are more meetings I need to have and preparations I need to make. But if you need anything or think of something that would aid you in this quest, then let me know and it will all be arranged and ready for you when you arrive.
Understood.
I will be sending word of the exact date, but you've got at least 4 months, I believe. You will hear from me again. Not in person, of course, until you come to meet me.
4 months vacation. In addition to everything we've agreed on. In that case, I'm afraid I'll need to go back.
I would definitely suggest not staying here, at least after what you have done. I do need you to stay alive until then.
That is one of the many things that I have proven myself to be exceptional at.
I will take my leave. I appreciate your hospitality. A lot more well-mannered than I thought you'd be, but I have a feeling you're a man with many surprises, and I look forward to seeing you in 4 months' time.
Oh, you have no idea. Takes
She
your
grabs-
glass, sets it on the bureau, drops into a little bow.
The amused half-smile comes back as she grabs her cloak, puts it back on over her shoulders, and begins to walk to the door, not waiting to see if you will see her out or not.
He'll hang back a few paces. And I think only when she leaves does he let the relief really show. Because that is a card, a vulnerability that he's never shown anybody. And I think he returns to the bureau, retrieves his belongings that bring him comfort, the violin, the pipe, and then we see, I think, an adjustment of the sword on his hip. And it is very much not the one he carried some time ago. Down to the cellar to fit that armor back on after a little while out of the saddle, and then on his way out the back door, that two-pronged cowl slung over his shoulder, hood pulled up, pushes up the spectacles, and with the bag of holding over his shoulder and true name on his hip. He's gone, maybe like he never lived there at all.
As you leave out the back door, there is a 5'7", roughly 5'10" when you include the tiefling horns that curl like rams around his head. Very lithe man in sporting sunglasses, dead of the night, purple vest, pale red skin, wavy jet black hair. Are you leaving?
Do I recognize this person?
Roll an insight check.
First roll of season 2. Crap, that's an 8.
No, you've never met him before.
Now, I just started my vacation. And I turn on my heel to really face him.
We don't do vacations in the Legion. And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Varrick have a tattoo up his arm?
No, that was all scarring.
That was scarring.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the scarring lights up as if on fire.
Does it hurt?
It does not hurt. It is entirely painless. You are Legion. Never forget that. And, word to the wise, don't trust a thief. And she's a thief.
Oh, trust me. I know a thief when I see her.
Well, you have a grand evening. And he just turns and walks down the alleyway.
And you leave me the fuck alone. And he'll go the other way.
And I think as we see Varrick disappear into the dark, that is where we're going to leave that today until we meet him again.